Good evening, and how are you all doing? I once again see that this is not working. Let me fix that. There we go! I changed that last stream and forgot to change that back, but now it works. We have Rollercoaster Tycoon. So, how are you all doing? Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, to everyone who can celebrate it with their significant other, I wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. To everyone who can't, like me, we'll just have a nice little stream. How was speed skating today? Ooh, I'm glad you asked. I was at my parents' place today. To watch the last day of the World Championships. And it was amazing. It was absolutely, truly amazing. So, first we have the 1500 meters ladies. And you had a couple of names, like Brittany Bowe, Irene Wust, Antoinette de Jong. You would expect one of them to take the win. But no, some Norwegian lady who was getting better this season, Ragnar Wiklund, took the win. No one expected that. The first Norwegian lady to win any title at a World Championships distances. It's truly insane. Then the 1500 meters man was alright, you know, was as expected. Thomas Krol won, a Dutchman, of course, a Dutchman. Then at the 5000 meters ladies we saw the fastest closing lap ever by Irene Schouten, who also won. And at the 10k we saw a world record. And the world record had not happened in at a lowland altitude rink since 2007, which was truly insane. And also Niels van der Poel, first Swede to ever win a world title on the single distances, and the first to win anything since the 1980s. It was crazy and it was amazing. I truly enjoyed it today. Now that that's over, to most of you who have never watched speed skating probably, let's focus on things you probably have heard about, like Rollercoaster Tycoon. So let's continue the Megapark. Let's see. I think this is the last one. Hello, Crazy Baboon. Yeah, this was the last version. Ooh, we have a fair bit of lag. Negative 20 degrees. That's not that cold, especially Fahrenheit. Or is it, wait, no, negative Fahrenheit is colder than negative 20 Celsius. Still, you know, I've never lived that, but it's still doable. There are much colder places on Earth. There are some towns in Russia which get to like minus 50. And you don't need to know which either Fahrenheit or Celsius because they're very close together at minus 50. And either way, it's damn cold. Unless you cross the border into Canada. I'm not sure what you're referencing, but whatever. Could you make a suspended swinging coaster with color scheme white, light orange, dark water and a fire theme? I sure can, Max, and thank you very much for the bits. Minus 20 Fahrenheit is just above minus 30 Celsius. So it's just about the coldest temperature that the Netherlands has ever experienced, which is minus 27 point something degrees. Celsius, of course. I'll get on that suspended swinging coaster. Do we have one already? I think I built one here, yes. So I'll build this one on the other side of the park. I think the coldest I've ever experienced is probably around minus 12. Like, not at night, because at night it doesn't count because I'm sleeping anyway. I mean when I'm actually outside. Can the next suspended swinging coaster have the floorless cars? Sure. Let's see. Do I have them available? I don't know. Let's have a look. I do. Nice. It's like a temperature scale calibrated to human perception. Yeah, except it's not. I mean, 100 is very warm. Yeah, but what does that mean? For me, 80 is very warm, which is about 28 Celsius, 27 Celsius. So it's not really any useful. Yeah, Kelvin is not at all useful for measuring weather temperatures and stuff. Ooh, we're getting rain. No, we're getting rid of that. No rain. Rain is stupid. Let's disable weather changes. Let's do disable plants withering. Water plants, because in case any of them have what's called died, I suppose. Kelvin is a scientific thing, yeah. And for science, Kelvin is obviously amazing. But for practical use, not really. I am still a strong believer that... Wait, why was this every third... Oh, right, I hadn't opened it yet. Okay, because I did those speedruns, I kept switching back and forth between those versions. These options are screwed again. I want this to be at 200 autosaves, but every time I start up an old version, because this option doesn't exist in those old versions, it gets reset. Same with some hotkeys. Ooh, I need to redo my hotkeys anyway. If you see my Forest Frontier speedrun, then yeah, I changed some hotkeys to be able to do it quicker. So how many of you did see my Forest Frontier speedrun? Because I was quite proud of it, of how fast I did it. Because the thing is, to be able to perform them that fast, I need to be able to reach all the shortcut keys that I need with my left hand without moving it. And I also don't want to take my hand off the mouse, because that also takes up a lot of, you know, inaccuracies, and I need to grab the mouse again. So I rebound increase game speed, which is normally at the equals or the plus sign, which is right next to backspace, to spacebar. And let's see, zoom in and zoom out. Wait, no, those aren't the ones I used. Oh yeah. Rotate construction object to A because I needed to do that. Control. Oh yeah, I did another one, which was close all windows, which is caps lock. No longer space and backspace for me, because that takes two hands, and I just wanted to do it with one. I can quickly, actually, see if I can do it. I can take you through it, how I did it. I think that can be interesting, because you might not be able to see it. Now that my hotkeys are still configured in the right way, I'll take you through it quickly. So we first, actually we need to be at a scaling version of 2 at the start. Then I click on Forest Frontiers to start it. I very quickly open the park. Then, let's see what came then. Right, then I closed that. Oh, thank you very much for the sub, Zorg. And what's up? Welcome to the stream. I closed that with caps. Then I immediately pressed R to build a ride. Did this. Chocolate log. Rotated it 3 times with A. Built it somewhere here. As long as these paths connect, it's fine. Opened it, which is a step I frequently forgot. Then I did S for a staff, hired a single handyman, did F, and then I pressed spacebar and C 3 times at the same time. Or 4, I suppose. Yeah, 4. So now we're at max speed, and then I just did these campaigns that only require 2 clicks until I got to 50. Which should be soon enough. There we go. That's how I did it. So this strategy with the chocolate log is one that I nicked from the previous world record, but they first built a bit of path, which I didn't. They built a bit of path and built chocolate log somewhere around there because there was not enough space here, I suppose. And I thought, I think I can build it somewhere here if I can just rotate it quickly enough. And I also do it like doing only 2 week ads, which allows you to speed up quicker. and you just renew them. That's also something I nicked from theirs. So I basically just took their speedrun and improved it. But I managed to improve it from about 22 point something to 16.93, I believe. 16 point somewhere high, almost 17. So it's quite a big improvement. And it can still be improved, but I'm happy about it. My Micropark one is definitely not as good. I did that when I saw that Cody Watkins had done it, and he got 40 seconds. I was like, I can probably do that faster. Then I did a little bit of optimizing with, you know, some shortcut keys. And I found that I could do it in 20. And it's funny, I keep rebounding my shortcut keys for almost every speedrun. Because there I use space, not to increase the speed, but to build the observation tab. No, the roto drop. So if you want to do all those scenarios in a single speedrun, I need to figure out some way that, you know, I don't need to use the same key for multiple things. But let's now change back my shortcut keys to what they usually are. So I think this is shift plus backspace. This must be equals. I think that's all of them. Because I had not used A yet, so that can stay at rotate construction object. That's no problem. I can do next track at space again. Yeah, I think that's all of them. And let's get back to the Megapark. Okay, let's see what these colors were that I was supposed to get. Can I still find that? I can. Color scheme of white, light orange, which is just orange in my book, but okay. And dark water, and a fire theme. Well, fire theme comes later. I have an idea for you. A hardline twister coaster if available with an excitement of 6.5 or 7 or higher. Well, that's not gonna happen, the Toxic Avenger. Because for that to happen, I need to build it immensely large. And I don't want to do that because that's ugly. I need to make it the size of the park in order to get to 7. And 6.5 is not much far behind. I did light water. Oh, my bad. There we go, dark water. My record is 7.14 or 7.16, somewhere around that. And it's literally the size of this plot. So, that's not gonna happen. Okay, let's start building this now. So, did you all have a nice weekend? Especially the Dutch guys probably had, considering you finally had some good ice. And that's quite rare here. Like natural ice which you can actually ice skate on. Went on the ice and hiked in the snow. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't go on the ice, but I did play in the snow. Which was a lot of fun, because I haven't done that in several years. I have a 3-day weekend, so I'm enjoying it. You have the Friday or the Monday? Monday's a holiday. Ah, so you still have 1 day left. That's nice. Because I find that the evening before you have to start again is always a bit, you know, full of the dread of having to start again. Depends on what you have on Monday, of course. One of my hobbies is photography. I've taken over 600 photos in the past week with the snow. Oh yes, I can imagine that. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm in the north. I didn't even get that much compared to the south. So, the south, yeah, had even more. I don't know where you live, but if you live in the south, you have absolutely amazing snow. Now, there might be some Canadians or like Americans who live in New York or Washington or whatever, that are like, how much snow? Like you must have got like 2 meters of snow for it to be a lot. Nope, got about 10, 15 centimeters. The south maybe a bit more. I know for you guys it's not a lot, but for us it is. You had yard-long icicles on the house yesterday. Ooh, that reminds me of a nice story. Wait, this actually fits? Oh, it's further behind than I thought. That's nice. Because I've seen that before as well. Me and a friend were cycling home from school, from high school at some point. It was, I think, in 2012 when we had a good winter as well. And we saw a barn that had amazingly long icicles. And truly long. Up to a meter or even longer. So we both took one off and just carried it home. The remaining about 6 kilometers. While we cycled home in a truly Dutch fashion, I suppose. And when I came home, I showed my dad. And he was absolutely shocked by the size of it. It was amazing. It was truly gargantuan. Let's do some pathing. What do you all think of this coaster? I didn't really have an idea in my mind. I just did what felt natural, I suppose. And I think it turned out decently nicely. Looks pretty nice, but those trains look weird on it. Well, it is your coaster after all, so if you want the non-floorless trains, because I think someone else asked that, then that's fine with me. It's your choice. Let's do that. Like 3 weeks ago, one town in this state got 90 centimeters of snow. That's a lot. The suspended swinging coaster doesn't look too bad, but I'll agree with your video that it's not the most fun thing to build. Yeah, it's not great. If someone else requested, I'd feel bad overriding it like that. I mean, you know, you did donated the bits, so I suppose, you know, you can override it. By the way, may I ask what exactly the idea is with these colors and the fire theme? Is it just something random you picked, or is there something behind it? Oh, I need to switch to OpenGL again to be able to zoom in more. Don't know why I switched away from that. Probably had to do with the speedrun on an old. Yeah, it had to do with the speedrun on an older version. Let's do a little bit of fire here. That should not be red. That should be black. No, I need to do that black and then paint. Yes, that's it. I think the colors work well on this coaster type. Oh, they look decently nice. Not my favorite I've ever seen, but they look good. There we go. That's a lot of fire. Let's do a little bit of this kind of ground. I think fire looks better on a rocky ground texture. There we go. I'll fine tune it here later when I build the path there. It'll be fine. Alright. Solid purple trains. Solid dark purple. Which is this one. Like the waves in the fire. Yeah, there's some kind of wave here. It's because they're all animated and I placed them in about a pretty consistent fashion. So the delay between them is about roughly similar. But interestingly, that also means that you can clearly see that they're not all just following the same animation. Like everything is always at the same frame in the animation. It depends on when you place them. Which is cool. Does it reset when you reopen the park? I don't think it does, considering... let's see. Nope, it doesn't. And I thought it didn't, because you have that... some of those parks with those animated scenery, those scenarios. And those always, you know, look like... You know, you see that they don't all have their own animation. Like, they all have their own animation, they're not synced. And we would have noticed something if that wasn't the case. What other things could I do? I suppose I could do a volcano. Like, let's do multiple volcanoes, because why not? It's a very volcano-y thing here. You can put 16 of these fires inside one volcano. Think that's all of them. Do you have any pagodas? No. I might be able to select some though. I think I still have a few spaces left. Oh, those are outside of the volcano. I'll get rid of them soon. Guests are getting lost or stuck. Well, that's their problem. Not mine. Although it can lower the park rating a bit. Huh, you can build on the outside of this volcano. I don't have zero clearance on. That's weird. You shouldn't be able to do that. Right? Like, this should not be possible. But it somehow is. That's a little weird. Isn't pagoda one of the entrance types too? Yes, it is. I think it is at least. Pagoda, yes. That works. I have an idea for this coaster's names. Coaster Combat. That's a good name. Let's go with that. Coaster Combat. And I'll do a little hills. Well, you know, where I can do them. There are a lot of spaces, like right next to here, that I can't do them because the coaster's in the way. And it looks like it isn't, but it's deceivably big. Which is part of what I don't like about this coaster type. But we gotta deal with it. Oh, yeah. See? That's the problem. And we got that scenery bit in the way as well. Oh, thank you very much, Damsel, for the subscription. And welcome, Andre. And welcome, Damsel, as well. Because I think you've just arrived. How are you all doing? This coaster seems to be popular. That's nice. Ooh, we got another bad hill there. Let's see if I can get one higher. There we go. Little bit taller. All good, nice. You could have a little bit go through the hills underground. I could, couldn't I? Let's see where I could do that nicely with all the volcanoes that are already there. Because this coaster is actually, at least for a suspended swinging, fairly compact. I could do it here. But I'm not sure with this thing being so big how good it will look. Some pits valleys, yeah, I'll do that. I'm not the greatest landscaper. I said that I'm terrible at scenery and most of you disagree with that. But I know that I'm better at scenery than I am at landscaping. So, well, I don't think I ever said I'm terrible at scenery, but I'm not great at scenery. Looks much better. Yes, it does. That was a good tip, Arceus, or Max. Makes the hills stand out more. Ooh, we got some nice tunes here. Very rugged landscape. I would say the most rugged landscape in this park, but not really. We got a little mountain that surpasses it. Emphasis on little. Oh no, 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 those are my flames. Don't get rid of my flames. We can do a little hill here as well. Like that. Very chaotic, which is more natural. Here as well. Technically the mountains are like mountains like 40 meters tall. Yes. Imagine actually being able to build like a mountain 1 kilometer tall. But you'd need a bigger park for that, wouldn't you? Because any mountain that's 1 kilometer tall is much more than 1 kilometer in diameter. Well, any, I think most at least. I haven't seen that yellow coaster with the tiny rail before. We built it in the last stream and it's a new custom coaster type that's now included in Open RCT2. You can see that the trains, these are looping coaster trains, don't really work with it. They don't have sprites for all the things we want to do. But close enough. I think it's a nice compact coaster and it looks really cool. It's like one long spaghetti strand. Stats any good? I think there were. I don't quite remember, so I'll have a quick look at it in a minute. But I think they were pretty good. I think this landscape's about finished. Looks pretty decent, don't you think? It's probably one of the better landscaping jobs that I've ever done. Can we raise this? Yes, we can. You're gonna go watch the finale of Hill Holland Bakt. Nice. Have fun. I've never watched that, but it's pretty popular. Which, translated to English, is about the entirety of Holland is baking. And it's basically a baking show or cooking show where, you know, people bake stuff. I've never watched it. I'm not one to watch much TV. But it seems to be pretty popular. Alright, time to build the path around it. But I've never watched any like cooking shows. Do you guys watch cooking shows? And if so, what do you find interesting about them? That can be interpreted alternatively as the whole Holland getting baked. Now the funny thing is, you know, Amsterdam especially, but the Netherlands is famous for, you know, weed and being legal and people being high. I don't think the Netherlands are on average smoke much weed. I only know one person who smokes weed. And he does it very, very rarely still. Like one person that I actually know, not that I've heard of. So, it's not actually really a thing. I think in America, many more people smoke weed. It's the Great British Bake Off but Dutch. Yeah, pretty much. I'll watch Jack's Pepin videos, or Jacques Pepin videos. I've never heard of that person. I presume they're about cooking. Since, you know, it's what we're talking about. Alright, let's do the benches and the bins. I'm not finished quite yet with this. I'll do a little bit of more mountaining at the edges and some more fire, I suppose, and other scenery. Can confirm, have a subscription box that shows up every 3 months. Subscription box of what? Oh, weed probably. Then I presume you're somewhere where it's legal, since otherwise I think a subscription box is not really something that would be a thing. French guy who cooked with Julia Child. I've also never heard of Julia Child, so that doesn't say much to me. Maybe I'm just uncultured, but I've never heard of any of those people. I think he meant a cooking box. Nope, he didn't. He confirmed it's a weed box. Haha. I had no idea that was a thing, but it does make sense. Now, I've never smoked weed, and I don't intend on ever doing it. But I don't have anything against it. I imagine the feeling of being high is quite nice. But I have a fairly addictive personality, and I don't want to take any risks with weed or smoking or any kind of drug, so it's a no for me. Even just to test it, see if I, what it's like. Because I am kind of curious, but I'm not gonna test it. You also watch Bruno Allebouze. Never heard of that guy either. But speaking about YouTube, what are you guys' favorite YouTubers? And maybe I'll recognize some, and maybe, well, we'll be able to have a nice little discussion about them. Let's do a little bit like that. Like that. AVE. Never heard of that either. That's also a possibility that every YouTuber I've never heard of. There's this Dutch guy that makes videos about Rollercoaster Tycoon. Oh, you mean Dirkling. Adam Savage, Cody's Lab, and Colin Furse. I watch neither of those, but at least I've heard of all three. Colin is just not really my type of presentation. I've watched like 1 or 2 videos of his. And I knew that Adam Savage had some kind of YouTube thing, but never tuned into it. Electro Boom, I've never heard of. And Serious Mugbewe, Decino, Looney Lily, Main Man, SWE, and Sheepocalypse, I've also never heard of. Wow. Not a single YouTube channel that I watch has been named yet. Which is weird, because usually with like my friends who also watch a lot of YouTube, a lot of stuff that we watch matches. 3 Blue, 1 Brown. Now that's at least a channel I've watched some videos of. And I actually quite like, but it's not, I'm not that much into mathematics videos, so I say when I watch stand-up maths, so maybe it's also his style that's not really truly my style. Tom Scott, now you're more speaking my language. I would say that Tom Scott is probably currently my favorite YouTuber. He's just great. He can speak his thoughts very well, and he always finds interesting things to talk about. No, thank you for the follow, Fluffy Little Kittens. For example, his last video title, or one of his most recent video titles, was Hill, Debunked, Debunked. And it makes total sense. Let's see, what else do we got here? Numberphile. I only really watch Numberphile if it's a presenter that I like James Grime or Matt Parker, or that guy that always talks about his graphs, his amazing graphs. I'm not sure what his name is. I personally avoided saying that because I know how much you like him. Yeah, I've talked about Tom Scott before. Well, thank you for the follow. GRO Shack. The one with the Barcelona shirt. Yes, that guy. He is amazing. He has, I think, 3 videos about amazing graphs. And I recommend them all. They're just great. Ordinary Sausage is one of the weirdest YouTubes out there. Once again, never heard of. The Spiffing Brit. I've only watched one Spiffing Brit video, and that was because I was mentioned in it. It was, of course, one about Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. Which actually got me a bit of a subscriber boost, but not that big, but you know, still really nice. And regardless of the subscriber boost, you know, that's nice. But the best thing about, you know, people mentioning my name is, you know, and he does good work and that kind of stuff. It's just knowing that people appreciate my work. And that's honestly really nice. I was named in a podcast, it was a Dutch podcast recently. They were talking about roller coasters, not the games, just actual roller coasters. And it's, you know, at the end they also strayed a bit to the Rollercoaster Tycoon games. And then they talked about YouTubers, and one named Dirklink, and the other one was, I was Marcel Vos as well. And the first guy was, yeah, but, you know, he always likes to kill people, so I'm not really into that. That's not all I do. I mean, what kind of YouTube channel would I be if all I did was just drown people? That's, you know, it's kind of a horrible YouTube channel I'd be then. But yeah, it's, you know, maybe some people think that's all I do. They just need to look at my channel again. Let's get on with this. Spirit of the Law and T90 Official. That's 2 YouTube, well, 1.5 YouTubers I watch. I sometimes watch T90. Spirit of the Law is amazing. I watch every video of his. Best Age of Empires YouTuber, I'd say. Alright, what else can we add here that's not fire? Good evening, Duke of Heron. Welcome. I could add, like, barrels which feel like they belong here for some reason. Could add ice, but it's a little bit unrealistic. Ooh, dead trees always work well. Technology connections. I've watched a couple of his videos. He did a cameo in, well, not a cameo, he was in a game show hosted by Tom Scott not too long ago. Remember that game show by Tom Scott called, I think, Disconnected? Where there were some questions, and at some point there was a question, and it was like, which of these is 1/8 of a foot or something? And the question was answered by Hank Green. Now Hank Green is known for, you know, he made Crash Course, I believe. He is like a fairly smart educational YouTuber. And his answer to what like 1/8 of a foot or whatever it was a decimeter. Come on! I cringed so hard at that. Not only that, the 2 other YouTubers who were also American did not know that it was wrong. So they did not call him out of it on it, so he got away with it. That's how the game worked. I cringed so hard at that. Like, come on, they're from 2 different measurement systems. I think the answer was like a furlong or something, or shekels or a chain or whatever ridiculous imperial unit. Let's do a little bit of a gravestone. It got more hell now instead of just fire. But I don't think Max will mind. Regular car reviews is great for car reviews. Well, that's something I'm not into at all. But that's so interesting because there's a lot of YouTube genres that I'm not into, like car reviews or whatever, that there will be good YouTubers about. That just for about every niche, there's a great YouTube channel. And yeah, at some point it stops. I imagine there's, like for the really small and obscure games, there might not be. But for almost everything there will be. It's a shame nobody mentioned this Marcel Vos channel yet. Well, someone did. Sort of. I was almost tempted to say, what's your favorite YouTube channel besides me? But that sounds a bit arrogant, so I was not going to say it. Might as well go all in with a Mr. Bones welcoming you to the chain lift. Not a bad idea. Let's do it here. There we go. Hello. Wait, can I paint his hat? Ooh, his hat has a paintable color. That's cool. Let's make it orange. No, I need to make that orange and then paint him. There we go. I didn't know that. I enjoy watching Lemmy and Epic History TV on YouTube. Lemmy is truly amazing. If you don't know about Lemmy, go check him out. He makes very interesting, very professional and well-edited documentaries about a lot of unnatural stuff, like the supernatural, like UFO sightings, or other mysterious stuff, like people who have been lost and the search for them, like the search for D.B. Cooper, some American plane hijacker. Was a great video of his. It's just, he does it so well, and so well produced. It's truly amazing. So go check him out. We can do some of these things. They look quite ghastly. Have you heard of this Marcel Vos guy? No, but I bet he is wildly attractive. Just a guess, though. One more tree. And I think this is about done. Yeah, maybe a few more fires in some strategic locations. Like near the edge. And to think, Lemmy started out as a channel called Top 10 Memes and made rage comic videos. There are a lot of interesting origin stories of YouTubers. And let's make a black hole right there. For example, Mr. Beast started out as like a Minecraft YouTuber, I believe. And he tried a couple of different things before he found something that got him big. Okay, let's make some more money. Let's see how fast we can make money. I'm going to set my money to 10,000. And then I'm going to do this. Scenario options. And they're going to pay per ride. Wait, I think I didn't actually do it correctly. Wait, no, wrong one. No. There we go. Pay per ride. And then I'm going to renew all rides. You know, let's fix them all. And now let's see how much money we make. Currently it's still free. I might need to re-enable this. There we go. Recalculate them all now. Wait, that's not right. These are decent stats. Oh, wait, no, there's no lazy... Wait, that's weird. Oh, the entrance still costs money. No, it doesn't. How is this 340? Ignore free ride should be off. Oh. No, it doesn't seem to work. Hang on, let me do this. No, not object selection. Scenario options. Let me just pick them both. And then manually set the price of this to 0. Just so that we're sure that that's 0. And let's then see how much money we make. Because I imagine it's a lot. Alright, that's free. Oops, that's the map. And we're frozen. Oh, there we go, that's better. Ride price manager, recalculate them all now. Let's see. 1420, that's a lot better. Oversimplified history, I've seen it, I've not really watched it though. Any remaining guests in the park will only pay up to 25%. Well, that's no problem. Da-da-da-da-da. And let's now advertise to hell. Let's do a little bit of this. Never-ending marketing campaigns. Let's go for the route Sandstorm. It doesn't really matter. I just want the guests in the park. Only 2 weeks, since they're never ending anyway. There we go. Or, what I could also do, it's a lot easier. I'll just spawn in some guests to replace the old ones. That, I should have done that before. Epic rap battles of history. Yeah, the thing is, they, like, never post. Or at least very rarely. There we go, there are all the guests. I'm surprised at how little lag that gave. Damn. The lag situation has really been improved a lot. Well, at this speed it still lags. But that's to be expected. Renew the Rise 2. I already did that. This thing is built this year. Let's see how much we'll make. We were making around, well, 10k a month in ride entrance tickets. Let's see how much we'll make in ride price tickets now. It should be a lot. Good evening, Mr. Vendros. Leo Moraccioli and Frogleaf Studios. You're saying like they're two different people, but Leo Moraccioli is Frogleaf Studios. Do awesome metal covers of pop songs. I know. Not only do I know that, I've been to one of his live shows. And it was amazing. It was truly amazing. Not the greatest metal show I've ever been to, since I've been to Nightwish and Wintersun, and you can't top that, but it was still amazing. Okay, so I should... Hang on, do... this again, ignore free rides, yeah, and then I'll make these free, since they're transport rides. Marcel flexing on us. Yeah, of course. With those things you can flex if you've been to that kind of stuff. And it was great. the really funny thing is that Leo had made a cover of Africa by Toto. And it was a great cover. But at the end of the video, he always has a little promotional stuff for his, you know, for to you know, where he says subscribe to my channel and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And the promotional stuff for Africa was absolutely amazing. It was hardcore metal and a little bit of nice vocals from, I think Hannah Bolton, who was doing guest vocals on Africa as well. And it was truly amazing. And all the comments below the video said that as well. They were like, came here for the song, stayed for the outro, or the outro was the best part, or something along those lines. And at a certain point he played Africa during the live show. And me and a friend who I was there with were like, will he play the outro? We already talked about that before the show. And then the song was over. And then they played that first chord from the outro from the YouTube video. And we were like, yeah, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I love live shows. Like, heavy metal live shows are the best. A dangling coaster from hell. Pretty much the first thing we've built today. Also, I said I would show these stats from the single rail coaster, which are 7.66, 8.35 and 4.05. You say Nightwish is the best, but you haven't seen Joachim from Sabaton take off his trousers. I have a friend who is a great fan of Sabaton, but I'm not sure if he's seen that either. Okay, what coaster type would you guys like to see now? I miss concerts. Yeah, I still have 2 tickets for Nightwish concerts. 2 in a row. Which is funny because they announced a show at Ziggo Dome in Amsterdam. And immediately I asked my mom if she wanted to go again, which she of course said yes to. Or actually, a few months before that she had asked me, are Nightwish doing any more shows? I want to go again. Have you built a wild mouse? Not yet, I can do that. Wooden or steel? So then, you know, I bought a ticket with my mom. But then they announced a second live show because the first one was sold out so quickly. And then a couple of friends asked me, hey Marcel, do you want to go with us? Not really expecting a yes. Wooden spinning wild mouse. I could do spinning, but I don't really like spinning. But I said yes to my friend as well. I'll do a wooden. So now I'm going 2 nights in a row. And they were originally in November, which obviously didn't happen. Then they were postponed to May, which is also not going to happen. They've been postponed again. I don't know where to, but I don't really care at this point. It's long, you know, it's a while away and they might be postponed again. Honestly, the main downside about not having seen those shows yet is that if the shows would have been in November, Marco would have still been in Nightwish. Marco Hitala. But he left Nightwish due to mostly personal problems and reasons, which I do understand. There's no bad blood, so that's fine. But I'm not going to see him live again. Then again, I am really grateful that I did, you know, did have the privilege of seeing him live in 2018, when I also went with my mom. That was her first metal show, and it will definitely not be her last. I'm really truly happy that my mom's taken to metal, or at least symphonic metal, the way that she has. Because I've been listening to it for, I think, about 5 or 6 years now. A little bit less, maybe, like about 5 years. And at some point, I had a song on and my mom asked what it was. It was Endless Summer's Most Beautiful by Nightwish. And then they gave a show and I asked her to come with me to the show. And to my surprise, actually, she said yes. I did not expect her to say yes, but she did. And she found it amazing. And I'm really happy with that. And no, she's not really a metalhead. She's like I gave her some Metallica to listen to, and she didn't hate it, which is already a big step, but she didn't really like it either, which is perfectly fine. But she is a pretty big Nightwish fan, or Nightwish head, whatever you want to call it. So that's amazing. And especially the fact that without me like going on about it or anything, she asked me when we would go to Nightwish again. That really makes me happy. And honestly, the Nightwish show was the best show I've ever been to. Now I have not been to that many shows, probably about like 7 or so in total. 7 concerts. Well, this is a problem. I can fix that. But still, Nightwish was by far the best. Let's do this. There we go. My dad likes some of the Opeth I've shown him, but he's a little bit old to want to go to actual live shows. I should probably listen more to Opeth. I've heard some of their music, but I can't really remember what it sounds like, but it's probably pretty good, since I hear their name fairly often. I really want to see Nightwish, they're so good. Well, their whole tour is postponed to, I think, like late 2021 at the moment. I think for a lot of shows there might still be tickets. The Dutch shows have probably been sold out. I think both have been sold out. But for other shows there are probably still some tickets. Okay, let's make this one again a little bit of a mining area, because I quite like that. And it fits the wooden aesthetic. So let's dirty this up. Like that. We already have 80k again. We're making so much money now. We can continue this on this side. Like a lot of spruce trees and stuff. And, you know, I'll just connect this to there. To the jungle. There we go. That's a, you know, a nice gradient. I've corrupted my sister with Nightwish. There's no such thing as being corrupted by Nightwish. There really isn't. Nightwish is too great to be corrupted by. I think I'll first build some more ride before I start with the scenery. Let's do an enterprise. I like an enterprise. I don't particularly like live shows due to me being very sensitive to loud noise. Yeah, I can imagine that makes live shows not a lot of fun. I hope you can still enjoy some good music at your home. Be it loud or quiet music. Probably quiet music. If you like Nightwish, you might like Northern Kings. I've heard of them before. But I don't know what they're really about. There are so many shows that I might like that are shows, artists, bands that I might like that are similar to Nightwish. Probably too many to listen to. But I found that of the few that I have listened to, a lot of them often don't quite have what Nightwish has. What's up, Bishop Beater? Welcome to the stream. This Nightwish is just something that pretty much only they have. Because Epica, or Within Temptation, are both really similar to Nightwish. But they're not quite it, you know? There are a few songs of them that I really like and that are in my playlists. But they're not it. They don't have the Nightwish touch that they have, for me at least, you know? Let's do a nice pre-build here, actually. I know of a nice pre-build. Oh, I don't have the scenery for it. Well, never mind. I wanted, because since it's fairly small, I could build it here. I can build a little, not one. I already have a Rift Rapids in the other mine part. It does fit well though. Oh, I could do a mini golf. Yes, I'll do that. That's a good idea. Tinnitus sucks. Yeah, I don't have experience with it. But I can bet that it does. I sometimes get a ringing in my ears. But that's only like every, I don't know, few weeks or so. And it maybe lasts for maybe 10 minutes max. So I don't think it's tinnitus. And it's also not particularly loud. I wouldn't know what does cause it, but it's quite rare. I'd say something would be, I'd say it would be something to do with lyrical themes that makes Nightwish better than Epica. I am going to disagree with that, at least on the reason why Epica doesn't resonate with me as much. Because when I first listened to Nightwish, I didn't get any of the lyrics pretty much. I just listened to what it sounds like, and that's the same what I do with a lot of new artists that I listen to, as I did with Epica. So I think it can't be the lyrical themes, because I often only dive into that after I already like the band. And it often makes me like the band more, if they're like any like Nightwish. So it does help, but I don't think that's kind of from the Nightwish sound. Okay, so everyone has random ringing, I suppose. Like, it might be quiet. I never have it like during a stream like this where I have constant like sound in my ears. But then when it's quiet, I sometimes get a beeping noise or a little bit of ringing in my ears. But then that goes away pretty quickly. And I said 10 minutes, but usually it's quicker. So, I don't think it's really a problem. Like I said, it's quite rare. And it doesn't bother me. This is going to be a long queue line, but I don't care. I like to see my guests being tortured. Colors, yes. Since this red is not particularly nice. Ooh, that's very black. I don't like this green either. Can we do that black maybe? Ooh, that's once again very black. Huh. What about pink? This just makes me laugh. Your brain fills the silence with noise if there's none with ringing. Maybe. But, like I said, it only happens rarely to me. Even if, you know, I can sit perfectly in silence without any ringing. I think I'll keep these colors. Call it the emo golf course. Yeah. I like that. Ooh, before I do trees, I should do a little bit of landscape work. That's always nice. Spice it up a little bit. So I recently watched a bit of an older video by Matt Parker, Stand Up Matt's great YouTube channel, and well, it was not that old, but it was about Michael Bloomberg and his spending for his campaign for the 2020 presidential election. And it was about a tweet that said Bloomberg spent $500 million on the election. There are 327 million Americans. Why did he not just give every American $1 million? He could have easily done that, about 1.5 million. And spot the error, because that's not right. If you may have already noticed that. And then Matt went into detail into why people probably make that mistake so often. It's because in your head, you kind of treat the million like a unit. For example, if you have like 50 million kilos or something, and then, it gets 20 million kilos lighter. In your head, you do like, okay, 50 minus 20 is 30. Okay, but we had 1 million, so it's 30 million kilos. And they probably do the same with division. They're like, okay, we have 500 million Americans, 327 million... $500 million and 327 million Americans. 500 divided by 327 is about 1.5, but... Oh, right, we had the million. But it obviously doesn't work with division. The million just disappears. But what I find interesting is not that so many people got it wrong, but that almost no one was like, wait a minute, that's not right. Like, you will make a lot of mistakes with mathematics. Even people like Matt or like me, who have a lot of experience with mathematics and would normally not make those kind of mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, regardless of how much experience you have. You will make less if you have more experience, but you'll still make mistakes. The thing is to always look critically at your answers and, be like, is that right? And you should be able to see that that's not right. It can't be that $1 million, 327 million Americans, wait a minute, that's not 500 million. And that's what astounded me the most. Because then, Matt talked about that tweet being featured on an American news show, like a talking morning show or whatever. And no one in the pipeline actually found out that it was wrong. And they didn't talk about it because it was wrong. No, they talked about it because it was amazing. And they said that, yeah, it's true. Under the T section, part of the path is green. Yeah, I like having the thing green under the path. It's what I have pretty much everywhere in this park. It always ends before the path. Unless, of course, the path goes through it. But not if it's at the edge. But I think that's one really important thing that schools probably fairly often don't teach enough. And especially probably in America, because the school system isn't known for being the best, is critical thinking about your own answers, not just on mathematics, but I think it's quite easy to explain it on mathematics, but on a lot of things. But the thing about those kind of things, if you do a mathematical calculation, of course you will have your calculator with you. It's not about mental math. Mental math? The thing with an A, not with an E. But you should be able to know that if you try to, for example, multiply 50 by 22, and you get something like 300,000, that's not right. You should have sort of an intuition of where the answer should land. And I think that's a really important skill, which means you need some mental math. But you don't need to be able to do a lot of you don't need to be able to do difficult calculations by heart. That's not necessary. But you need to be able to do some mathematics by heart to at least know whether you're anywhere close to the correct answer. Which I think is interesting, because I've wanted to talk about this on stream for a while, and I might already have and forgotten that I did, but I'm going to do it again anyway. When I was in high school, which was in 2013 when that happened, I was in 5th grade of high school. Then, back then, at some point, we got the mathematics, no, not the mathematics test, like the calculation test. It's called rekenen in Dutch. And it's not any like algebra or proofs or trigonometry. It's just doing simple calculations. And I was the first year that had to take it, but we did not have to pass it. You could fail it. It was, it was still mentioned on your diploma, but it was fine, whatever you got. And then the year after me would have to pass it, or at least get like a 5. And I've seen a lot of people criticize it because why should we need to do mental math and stuff like that? It's not necessary. We have a calculator with us. Well, let me tell you. We had 60 questions on that test. And for about 90% of those, about 54, plus or minus 2 or something, we were allowed to use a calculator. There were only a couple which were like really simple, which is like 0.75 times 1 over 2. Like plus 0.30 or something. Those were the mental math ones, which are quite easy. So we were allowed to use the calculator, and a lot of people still failed it. And there were questions like, for example, you arrive at a camping place, and then they have like, a thing with prices, and it's like, per person $90 a night, but per caravan, I don't know, another 200 a night. It's really expensive for camping, but you get the gist. And then you had like a little story, like the family parker is arriving with this many people, and like a caravan and 2 tents, and they plan to stay 4 nights, but they don't have the tents up on the last night. How much do they need to pay? You get those kind of questions, and you get a calculator. That is real life mathematics. That's what you get in real life. That's like, the meme with the guy who buys 200 watermelons or whatever. Those kind of mathematical questions. Those are really important. If you can't do that, like, it's not necessarily a huge problem, but it can, be in your way sometimes. And I think that it's really important that people are taught that. Being able to know how to calculate stuff is super important. If you have a calculator but you have no idea what to do with it, it's useless. And especially if you don't know how to roughly verify your answer in your head. If you hit a wrong key or something, you can easily get an answer that's like a factor 10 or even more off. If you hit times instead of divide by 100, well, it's way off. And you need to be able to know roughly what's right. And I think that that's very important. But apparently people did so bad on that test that they already cancelled it. Which, I think it does not mean that people are dumb. It means that the school system is failing them. And this is the Netherlands we're talking about, not America. In America it would probably be worse. But yeah, if there's any like school subject I would classify as being passionate about, it's probably that. Hey look, we have some logs rolling down the hill. Wouldn't everyone failing a test be a reason to keep it there and teach it better instead of just removing it? Yeah, but you know, removing it is so much easier. We just remove the problem. The American school system is even worse because it actually shoves extreme politics down children's throats. I don't know how American discussions about politics go in classrooms, but we've had discussions about politics. When we learned about how Dutch politics and all that stuff works. And it was always fine. It was never, you know, never anything special, nothing hot-headed or anything. But teaching about politics is always a bit difficult. Okay, I need names for what the golf I call emo golf, but I need a name for this one. Log cabin, that's a perfect fit. Wait, what's not really to the politics? Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of differences between American states or even, you know, schools from, you know, two schools in the same town. What's a good name for the wooden wild mouse? When did Marcel's stream get political? Well, you know, I don't want it to get too political, but every now and then, you know, it's relevant to what we were talking about. School boards are elected politically and they can change the curriculum. I think that's really weird. Mine rats. Alright. Not a bad name. And I think I'll keep the color. I think it's a really nice color scheme. So then we have that section done as well. We're a bit over halfway done now. Oh, remember this? Haha. I love this. Ooh, we got some very ambitious handyman here. Goedenavond, knakworst in bleek. Welcome. I voted for school board members in the last election. We don't have anything like that here. We don't have a class president. We don't have anything like that. I've always found that weird. Electing a class president or something like that. But that's, you know, a thing they have in other countries. And they have it in America, but probably in other countries as well. What coaster would you guys fancy next? Also, damn, we're rich. We're making over 70k a month. That's a lot. Also, guests are spawning in very rich, which is nice. Why are we losing so many guests though? Well, you can't see it on here, but I spawned in about 2,000 more. And I am constantly advertising. Well, it's rising currently, so that's fine. Hyper Twister. I don't think I have one of those yet. Do I? No. Let's build one then. I basically relearned math when I got into programming because I finally had something to apply it to. Yeah. Oh, first we went into a lot of real heavy math stuff, but I feel like they totally missed the mark on teaching actual applications for it. And the mental math and logic fundamentals that lead up to it. Yeah, I think that that's where the Dutch school system fails as well. Pretty much every school system probably fails there. It's applications of mathematics. I think that they should actually take real situations and like show you how algebra applies there. Because we did get like a lot of what we would call them like story sums, verhaaltjes sommen, which is basically what I talked about with the camping place. It's, you know, you get a long story and then you get some kind of question about it. I think they just need to actually do that, you know, show some real life stuff. Actually, let's do a steeper chain lift. We can do that. Programming is where I learned that 0.1 plus 0.2 is 0.300000000000000000004. Yep. Same. Let's do this one. There we go. Steep chain lift. I remember those floating point arrows giving me a lot of problems when I was first learning to program. And I had to do something a certain amount of times, or like until something was a certain value, and it just like was doing it once too much because of the floating point nonsense. And it was quite annoying. Okay, let's not do this. This is too much vertical drop. Yeah, I don't like that. I think I want to go a little bit higher and just do a normal drop. Now, actually, I don't want a steep lift hill at all. That's ugly. What I want is a longer station. Do I even want it in this place? No, I don't. The thing is, I have plans and it doesn't fit into it. Well, plans sort of like in my mind, I have roughly what I roughly planned out when I built, and I think this is a better position. They're testing more for comprehension of a concept by doing word problems in middle and high school now. Yes, that is true, and that is a lot better than just random, you know, sums and questions and stuff. But it could probably still be better. Then again, it can always be better, so we can't complain too much. The long chain lift hill's making me sleepy. Well, then you gotta take a nap. But the long chain lift hill is here to stay. We can speed it up a little bit though. Let's unlock operating limits. There we go, 25 kilometers per hour. Now that's not so bad, is it? Now it doesn't take 50 minutes. I think it's more than just doing word problems. It will go a long way to even just explain where the more advanced concepts will be used in the real world. Yes, definitely. Okay, because of the supports that are lining up, it looks like this bit has no supports. Which is really quite strange. As soon as I learned that trig and vector math was how I coded movement in video games, I suddenly cared about it. Yes, that's very true. As soon as you use it yourself, you suddenly care about it. Helixes always do well in these kinds of coasters. Hyper twisters benefit much more greatly from boosters and launched lift hills than long chain lift hills. Yes. But long chain lift hills look better. So your argument is invalid. No, it's perfectly valid, but I'm not going with it because this looks so much better. Now that we're on about school subjects anyway. What was your absolute least favorite subject in school? Let's vent a little. We're all alone on Valentine's Day, so let's get the frustration out and vent a little. What subject did you hate? Economics. I can imagine that. I had 1 year of economics and I hated it. So, I fully agree with you there. History by a long shot. I had 3 years of history and I hated it. So I can also agree with you. French, because of the teacher. I had 6 years of French and I hated it. Well, I was terrible at it. I didn't hate it. I had a great teacher, but I was just terrible at it and didn't really like it. So far it sounds like I hated every subject, but I think economics, history and French are just my 3 least favorite subjects. I hated English language arts. I never, I was never crazy about English, but I was not crazy about any school subject. But I liked English. Probably because starting from the 3rd grade in high school, I was pretty good at it. And I didn't really have to do much for it. High school math. I quite liked math. Well, if I did anything for it, I was good at it. I often got terrible grades, but it was just because I failed to do anything. So yeah, if you don't practice your math, no matter how good you are, you don't know what you're doing. Unless you're like one of a kind like Ramanujan or something. I loved English more than the Dutch class I had. You can't compare those two. Because of course we had Dutch. But English and Dutch are really different. Just like English and French are different. Because when you're in high school, you can't, even after 6 years, most people, even if they get a great grade on the exam, you can't really speak French. But you can speak English quite well after 6 years of English, because, you naturally learn it from the environment and stuff. And Dutch is of course something different entirely, because, well, we're Dutch. We speak Dutch. So, all those 3 courses are really different. Now, German and French are really similar. Because you're not expected to speak either of them really well. In school, you're just learning, the basics. I wonder what the stats will be. I'm jealous of people who had Japanese, Chinese, Korean as a language option in high school. We had some weird options. I think some people took Chinese at our school. But it was only a few people, and sometimes it was not offered, sometimes it was. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary like that. I just took the normal courses. I think this is quite a nice coaster. How's it going? Oh, hey, welcome, Schliek. Going pretty well. I dropped French when I had the chance. I should have. When I went to 4th grade, I had to pick between French and German. And at the time, I was equally bad at both. And I picked French, and that was a grave mistake. I should have picked German. Although I did have a really nice French teacher. So, that was good. And there was a really pretty girl in French class as well, so that was nice as well. German was so easy, almost identical grammar to Dutch. Well, the easier a language is, the higher the level they expect. So the course doesn't really get much easier necessarily. If they expect the same in English as they do in French, then English, everyone would ace English. Heel Holland Bakt was fun. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I picked French for the pretty girls. I would say that that's a petty reason, but if you're in high school, that's a perfectly valid reason. I didn't. That, you know, that was a nice bonus that I got, I suppose, for picking French. Then again, there were more pretty girls in my year, and I'm sure that some of them picked German. So, probably wouldn't have mattered either way. I wasn't really a ladies' man in high school. I still am not. Like, I have a friend who is quite a bit of a ladies' man. And if he watches this, he probably knows I'm talking about him. And Roland might know as well. But I have never been, and I probably never will be. Let's build this path right through here. We'll give a little bit of a bonus. It will remove the support, which looks a bit unrealistic, but I can live with that. There we go. That's the path done. What are their stats? Well, at least I didn't screw up the lateral G's this time. We do have a lot of maximum positive G's, which is probably right over here at this first drop, but I don't really care. You know, you don't get a penalty for that, so that's fine. Okay, how much can we charge for this? Well, first we need the stats, which are not available yet. So Heel Holland Frituurd is not a real show. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the Great American Fry-Off would be a real thing. Ooh, 9.01 excitement, 8.15 intensity and 4.07 nausea. That's pretty damn good. 9 excitement, that's one of the highest. I think this one has 10 though. Yeah, 10.42. It's not the highest, but yeah, it's a tad bit smaller. A wee bit smaller. So, now about the colors. We could do the classic neon thing, which I always like. But maybe some of you guys have some interesting ideas. Can I see how the coaster turns out? Yes. It's not just fire themed, it's a bit more hell themed, I suppose. But here it is. We got a little Mr. Bones, some graveyard, some dead trees, and a lot of fire. And once again, excitement is the lowest stat. Saturated red, dark red. Those are two very similar things. I think they're both this one actually. It does fit nicely next to the blue. I could do this, which is something I've done before. Then with the black supports always look nice. I like this. The dark orange is not something I often use, but it pairs quite well with the saturated red. I could do yellow, pink, blue, which is like the baby colors I suppose for these. Although it probably doesn't look all that great. It doesn't look terrible. I'll keep it. And then a theming. What could we do for this? while I do the benches and the bins. Which should still be the name of like a progressive rock band. The benches and the bins. Maybe headed by me. As a singer. Or probably a guitarist. The coaster says metal. The trains say candy floss. It's a nice combination, isn't it? Train, woo. Wait, train? Where? I did take the train today to go to my parents' place, where I watched speed skating. Bubblegum metal. I would not be surprised if that's an actual sub-genre. The emoji did load, but it's a hard emoji. Pan train. I don't get the train part. Am I missing something that I should not be missing? I know of kawaii metal. Oh yeah, you have baby metal. Baby metal is great though. I don't listen to them a lot, but they every now and then they come up in my playlists. Which is pretty nice. Oh, the train Loki looks like a pan flag. Oh, that's what you meant. I think it's close to glam metal. Yeah, glam metal, or maybe hair metal? I could go Italian again. I could go Colosseum spam. That's not too bad. There we go. Okay, maybe this is bad. The rise of the Colosseums. Just like in Rome, yeah, just dotted everywhere. Now there is blue. They have yellow, pink and blue. A shame they don't lean. What do you mean? They lean. What about a launched freefall through a Colosseum tower? That's not a bad idea. I can actually do that here underground. In fact... Ooh, I can do a funny thing. Yes, I have a great idea. What the heck was that? It was something we built on request of Neri last stream. I'll show you again. Da, 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 da. It's mean, it leans. It's amazing. So, well, the thing about the merry-go-round is that it's not a 4x4, it's a 3x3, so it doesn't fit. Now, you say that about launch freefall as well, and to that I say, yes, but actually no. Allow me to demonstrate. No, not you. Okay, we'll go underground like that. Now we can build up. And then, there's gonna be a lot of fun. Oops, that's wrong. Then we do this. Then we go underground. And we do it like that. Wait, are we building underground now? No, we're not. I'll just do it like this. Wait a minute. I need to first align that perfectly, then move the one over. There we go. Now we can build it. And we'll do 4 of them. Yeah, 2x2. And then we can do it. Let me see. Here as well. Need to first turn that on. And then the last one. And I'll do the entrances and stuff later, but we don't need 0 clearance for that. There we go. Nice to see ancient Rome had 5G antennas. Yeah, they had a lot of them. They track you everywhere with them. They implant a chip in your brain and all that good stuff. Alright, see ya, Housefinger. It's nice having you here. Alright, let's do these in the corners. I don't think I can synchronize them though. That's a little bit of a shame. Where are the chemtrails at? I know, right? Okay, what colors should I give them? Let's see. No, they don't have a synchronization option. So that's gonna be pretty much random. I do need to speed them up a bit though. What about 93? That's good. Make the airplane coaster and paint the rails white. That could work for a chemtrail coaster. There we go, 93. That's nice. Cool idea with the free falls. I'll have to try that next time I play. Oh, thank you. Now let's do the colors. Let's see. I could do them all the same color, black and yellow. I'll do them all black, but with a different inside. Think that's nice. We have like the 4 main colors, which I could do as inside. We have yellow here, red here, green here, and let's do the light blue. Yes, that's a lot better. And then we can do these entirely white. And then we get a little bit of RGB Y, with also the yellow action going on. Then reopen. It doesn't matter. They, you know, sometimes one will have to wait a little bit longer for guests and they'll get out of sync anyway, so I'm not going to attempt to sync them. Yes, they're underground. Speaking of metal, have you listened to the Doom 2016 soundtrack? I have not. I've never played Doom or, you know, anything like that and never listened to the soundtrack. Should I? Well, you know, considering how you're talking about it, it's probably pretty good. Okay, let's first of all make this some nice. Let's do this. And do that. Because that makes it really easy for me to just now do this. And have a nice little gradient where I can build my paths. Come on, connect. There we go. Thank you. And then I'll build this one a bit further up. There we go. Then I'll build... Hang on. Where is it? There it is. Wait, no. I was looking for this one. Wait, that's on the ground. It's not connected. That's connected. Let's go under there. This is gonna be one of the longer queue lines. But that's fine, that's fine. And then we can go up here. And then we'll figure out some way to put the last one in between. Doom music is all metal. Ah, right. Let's do that. And then go around. I think I need to go up one more. Yes. There we go. That's all 4 of them. Now, the entrances are a bit simpler. Since I can just connect all of them to the same path. Which will take a bit of building work, but that's fine. Let's see through rides and scenery. Wait, no, rides not. I need to be able to see the exit buildings. There we go. Then I'll need to connect this one. Which will do like that. And then we can connect it. Oops, no. Like that. And then the last one, which should not be very difficult. There we go. We can just connect it to that one. Wait, no. That way, please. I think that's connected. Wait a minute, I can't see it. See through rides. I still can't really see it. I think it is. Let me just do cutaway view. Okay, yes it is. Nice. Then now they're all connected. Wait a minute. How does this go? Hang on. I don't understand. Oh. Oh, this thing leads to nowhere. It's kind of like an illusion. This staircase, I thought it just continued here, and I was really confused. But that's fine. So now I'll just have to, you know, we'll have this come up somewhere. That's not gonna work like that. That's better. Oh, and the path is in the way again. Wait a minute. This is... Oh, now we're connected to there again. I really need to enable these... There we go. I'll just build it here. I accidentally removed a Colosseum, I think. Let's just get up here. Which is a lot easier. Well, not like that. There we go. Now let's actually take this up one again. Alright, finally. That's connected. So now. No, you're not allowed to go in there. Stupid guests. I finally caught it and want to call one of your streams. How's my fellow Dutchy boy doing today? Pretty well. As a Dutch guy, I love skating and we had an amazing day today. If any of you also watch skating, then you'll know what an amazing day for speed skating it's been. So I think we can finally open all of these. And then we'll have some more rides. There we go. Happy Dolphin is broken now. What ride's that? Ooh, it's this one. It's a nice ride. Ooh, we're almost making 100k in a month. That's a lot. We're almost a millionaire again. Well, we're just past halfway. But you know, a good start is half the work. And we're already past half the work. That 5k women's race was POG. Yes. Did you know that the 31:06 lap time by Irene Schouten is the fastest closing lap ever skated by a woman on the 5k? By far. The previous record was 31:49 by Isabella Weideman, who was not able to do well today. Yeah, I did a lot of research into those kind of statistics, like the fastest closing lap, fastest opening laps and all that kind of stuff. Skated on by men and women on different distances. And since I've been so into that lately, I know quite a few of them by heart. Earlier this season, Irene Schouten also skated the fastest closing lap ever on the 3000 meters. And it's not even a high altitude rink. Let's add some more Roman crap here. I think that's what I'll call it. We can fill one of these with these kind of pillars. It's kind of like a volcano, isn't it? POG is short for play of the game. Oh, that's something new. I did not know that. Would there be the possibility of a second monorail in this, going from the front to the park to the back? There's always a possibility. I could do one that goes from like this side to this side already. Front to back, not really, since there's nothing at the back yet. And I could do left to right, or right to left, depending on your perspective. Oh, POG is definitely not play of the game. Well, I have no idea what it means then. I'm not really in touch with all that kind of youth speak. Which makes me sound really old. I'm only 24. But I don't keep up with, you know, the youth. And if I try, it makes me really feel like, hello fellow kids. So, yeah. I don't like this one. POGs were a thing that was an American fad in the early 90s. Probably related to that. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Smosh talked about it. Like many years ago. They referenced POGs and I looked at what it was. Everyone who plays with POGs is now in their 40s. Yeah. And a lot of people that are in their 40s didn't because they weren't American. You should know more about it. I'm much older than you. I've never been all that much in touch with meme culture and that kind of stuff. My favorite memes, wouldn't know what my favorites are, but if I would make a list, it would probably be all fairly old memes. I quite like a good Rickroll, which is quite old, but also still relevant, I suppose. But if you want to Rickroll me, you either have to, you know, to hide the link, or you have to use a different link, because I've seen that link so much that I recognize it now. You like deep fried memes. I find the deep fried meme subreddit utterly bizarre. Oh, thank you for the follow, Matsa93. Deep fried memes feel like some kind of satire to me. It's just odd. Thank you for the follow, Marnik D. Just use a URL shortener and you can rickroll this guy. You can rickroll anyone if you use a URL shortener. Like, the one thing that I don't like sometimes about when people rickroll is that they are like, haha, you're so dumb, you fell for a rickroll. Well, you said you had something like, I don't know, picture of a cute kitty, and it was a link to a rickroll. Ooh, booyah, woo, you got me. Like, sure, it's a rickroll. You know, I don't have a problem with getting rickrolled, but I have a problem with people believing it. Or people being like, stupid that you believe that. Yeah, I also quite like the song, so it's not a problem for me. It's the same with which I see on Reddit a fair bit, which I have a problem with. Is that when, for example, you tell a story or claim something that you are whatever. No, I didn't say I don't like rickrolls. I may have said that, but I didn't mean that. I mean that I don't like when people get all uppity about having rickrolled you. A thing that I don't like is when people tell a story, which is fairly believable, not at all, you know, not all abnormal, and then it later turns out to be a lie, and then they're like, haha, you're so stupid for believing that. Well, there was no reason to not believe it. Like, you're not stupid for believing such a story. It's just, you know, why would I not believe it? I've seen that a fair bit, and I really don't like that. I pretty much assume that most things on Reddit are fake. So I do the opposite. I assume that most of them are true. Not only because if it turns out to be true and you insist that it's fake, then the person that wrote it will probably be hurt by it, especially if it's like a personal story about some unbelievable personal thing that happened. But also, if you assume that all these stories are true, it just makes Reddit more interesting, I think. But that's, you know, a personal thing. I love the RCT Classic on mobile. Yeah, it's really good. It doesn't have the ease of play that computers have, but that's, you know, that's not Classic's fault. That's just being a mobile platform. But Classic on computer sucks. If you want to play Classic on computer, just don't. Just get RCT2 and open RCT2. Which is cheaper and better. Wait, it was free for a bit? Cool. Not that I would get it, because I would never ever play it. I have bought it for the computer though. Which is only to test, so that I was able to test things in Classic. And I did build a park with over 11,000 guests, because the sprite limit is 15,000 instead of 10,000 in Classic. You bought RCT2 twice. I also have. At some point I couldn't find the disc, and I was like, well, whatever, I'm just gonna buy it on Good Old Games. Then I lost that and I bought it again on Steam, and I'll never lose that. I probably could have re-downloaded it from Good Old Games, but I don't know, I just wanted it on Steam. It was fine. It's only a couple of bucks anyway. And I really don't want a physical copy. If, you know, I would not be able to use it anymore anyway, since my current computer doesn't have a disk drive. Ooh, I have an interesting idea for this. I have a really interesting idea for the color scheme. We'll do this one green. And we'll do this one blue. Different blue. And then we'll alternate these colors. So then you get like that one's yellow again. So this one's red. Then 3 yellow. And a red. Every fourth one needs to be red. Which is not that one, it's that one. So let's make this one yellow for the time being again. Oh, thank you for the follow, Kevin04K. And then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4? I think, yes. And then this one. This one. This one. Thank you for the follow, Anouk STW. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we finally got a big one. And that one. And I will do the same with the other colors, which will be easy because I can just do the one after red. Red is only the one where I really have to count. I hope I didn't make any mistakes. Knowing myself, I probably did. One, 2, 3, 4. Then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. The station doesn't really matter anyway, but still. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that doesn't... We're one short, but that doesn't matter. I'll just reset to yellow at the start. We'll have one fewer blue tile, but that's fine. See, now this is really quick. It's a big green one. And that. And that. And that. That one. That one. Ooh, 2 loopings green. Green got lucky there. Assuming that the goal of these colors is to occupy as much track as possible. Which, I don't know if that's their goal. Maybe they have entirely different goals at all. You missed the first loop. No, I didn't. It only has 2 loops and they're both green. Oh wait, I did it wrongly. I missed the thing before the first loop. Oh, I made a mistake there. I have too big of a difference between my red pieces. Which means that if I fix that, then I think it fits perfectly. Yeah, let me move all my red pieces one back. Because then we can have, you know, blue and yellow here. Let's move them all one back. And then we can move all the greens back as well. Then I think it fits perfectly. Then I red here again. Then we move the greens back, starting from here. And then we'll just put the blue in the place of the green. It's that easy. Their goal is to become sentient. Imagine a color being sentient. Now that will be really interesting. Then I think we need this one as well. Wait a minute, did I do that right? Move out of my way, please. Yes, I did do that right. Because this one needs to be blue. This one needs to be blue. This one needs to be... No. That one needs to be blue. This one needs to be yellow. Is this because of Carnival? No. I don't celebrate Carnival at all. Okay, now we can just do all the second green bits. Right? Yes. Wait, we're missing one here. Oh, I didn't do the green. I didn't relocate green. There we go. Wait, Carnival is now. I didn't know that. Let's see, blue is the last color every time. So blue got both the vertical loopings. So blue is lucky. That should be the other way around. Okay, I'll just start and do blue after green. I think that's easier. There we go. And blue, 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 blue. And we're done. And we have this interesting coaster color. Yeah, of course there's no carnival happening right now. I've heard that there are a lot of people that are immensely sad by there being no carnival. Blue dominates. Yes, it does, but that's, you know, luck of the draw. It's amazing that it perfectly fits. You know, a lot of people have kind of their life. They look forward to carnival the whole year. And I can't imagine that because I'm not a party guy, but you know, I can imagine looking forward to stuff like that. So it really sucks if that's a thing that you really look forward to. Then again, a lot of stuff is cancelled, so we all gotta live with that. Now I can make this worse if I do like a rainbow. Ooh, no, I know what will make it even worse. This'll make it awful. And I love it. It's perfect. Avert your eyes. This can damage your retinas. Yeah, Corona was bound to happen in the Netherlands anyway, regardless of the carnival. It might have accelerated it by a little bit, but it wasn't the sole cause. RGBYGs. The drop after the photo section isn't colored correctly. Isn't it? I think it is. Oh wait, no. There are two green bits here. Ah, damn it. Oh wait, I just missed the blue. Never mind, this is not a problem. There's no mistake in the ordering. It's just that I missed the blue. There we go. Can you show the whole park? I'll do that in a bit. Yeah, I'll do a little bit of a park tour after this ride. Everything is cancelled this year. Well, I'm really happy that they managed to set up like a speed skating bubble and still hold the World Championships and some World Cups. Because we saw some amazing speed skating this season. Yeah, just because it's safer doesn't mean it's fun. You're allowed to be sad about missing carnival, missing whatever. That it's not going on, because, you know, I am as well about a lot of things. But you also shouldn't, like, constantly complain about it. That, you know, your thing is getting cancelled. Everyone's things are getting cancelled. So, we all gotta live with it, and the less we go out and, you know, go out and about, the quicker it'll go away, and we will be able to do it again. Like New Zealand has of course a big geographic advantage. But New Zealand can already go out, going to stadiums with thousands of people again, because they managed it well. Now, I've seen a lot of debate on Reddit whether New Zealand managed to pretty much eradicate the virus because of geography or a better handling. And I'm just like, well, it's just a combination of both. They got lucky that they're very isolated, but they also handled it well. They're going back in lockdown. Yes, but because of that, they'll probably be able to go out of it quickly. Alright, let me do a little, like one line of these here. Red. Can we do it in the same order? So then we get now green. Then we get blue. And then we get yellow. That's a very bright yellow. I think that's not actually the yellow I use. I think I used this yellow. Yes. So, oh, wait, before I do the park, I need to open this and give it a name. RGBY something? Do you have any interesting suggestions for names? While I take a drink. Let this be a reminder to stay hydrated. I should probably drink more during my stream. So far, I've drunk about half a glass. In 2 hours of almost constant talking. Which is not really enough. Eye spasm. That's not a bad idea. I was thinking about something like that in my head, but I couldn't really come up with anything. I like eye spasm. So, let's save. This is the park. What's the red twister called? I don't think it has a name yet. No, it doesn't. You can come up with one. This is the park. We have a nice little wooden coaster in the jungle. We have Saturn and Jupiter in space. I think this is a really cool effect with the scenery, the black scenery tiles. Make it look like there's just land missing. Like you can just look through it. Chariots of Fire. Alright. Chariots of Fire. Which I like. Then we have a little beach area with a twister coaster and a pier. And some volleyball courts or badminton courts or whatever. And some chairs. We have a coaster called Massive Throughput, which is getting barely any guests. But it can have up to about 5,000 something per hour. We have the Express Platform 13, which is a real coaster that I rebuilt. We have this massive Giga Coaster, which is quite massive. And of course we have the newly ones constructed today, which are Chariots of Fire, Coaster Combat, Ice Spasm, and the mining area with Emo Golf and Mine Rats. Isn't the Giga like 4 kilometers long? I think so. Yeah, it's 4 kilometers and 57 meters long. Then we have this thing called Single Rail Rollercoaster 1. We don't have a name for it yet. I'll call it Spaghetti Strand. Or how about Long Noodle? We have this one, which is Forest Glider or whatever. It's a boring mini coaster, but that looks quite nice. We have Jungle Runner, which is not all that quick, but it does have the highest excitement rating in the park with 1109. And a lot of guests are stored on it. In fact, there are almost 500 guests stored on it, with an additional 273 in the queue line, which means that about 850 guests, which is more than 10%, are on this ride or queuing for this ride. 750. Not 850. Which is almost 10%. If I made the queue line longer, it would be over 10%. How is the excitement that high? Well, we got a fairly high drop here, which basically does it. And it's a long ride. And it's a splash boat. And you just get high excitement ratings that way. Then we have this thing, which is Mr. Bones Glitchy Ride. There were some glitches when I built this, which is why it's called that. You know, a little bit of a graveyard theme. Also, this haunted house is not what it looks like. Can you notice that it's a little bit off? It's not entirely right. It just doesn't quite work. And you can also see that it's not the whole thing is lighting up when it's in action. Let's wait for it to go in action again when, for the lights to flash. Which might take a bit. There we go. Some parts don't light up, which is because at some point I accidentally deleted a corner of this thing. Which I then replaced with a copy of another corner of this haunted mansion. But that means it's a bit glitchy sometimes. I could have just rebuilt the mansion, but that's no fun. So that's why that's the thing. I did that long after I built this thing. But it's an interesting artifact. And we have a log flume and this thing. Just called Mama Luigi Spaghetti. And it used to be, with 8.92 for quite a while, be the ride with the highest excitement rating in the park. Until we built the splash boats, I believe. It's a nice thing with gladiators fighting inside this Colosseum. Well, a gladiator and a tiger. Those G's. It's only 5.31. That's actually not that high. There are real life coasters with higher G's. Now we have Yin and Yang, which are some nice Ferris wheels. Merry-go-round, some flat rides. Now we have Dentist's Nightmare, which is basically a candy forest junior coaster. Azure, which I quite like in the snow and ice theme. We have this thing, which is called Druid Sandstorm, which is, a hairpin coaster, or as I used to call them when I was young, a harpin coaster. With a pyramid and a deserty bit. And, what's it called? An oasis. And then we have Slidey McSlideface, which is always broken down. It's broken down the most in the park, and it always gets stuck. That's not my... Well, this is my fault, but... It's not my fault. I can... you'll see what it looks like. It does a jump. Quite weirdly low, like not very affected by gravity. Which is quite weird, but... Alright. Will you be playing any GeoGuessr this week? Probably, but no guarantees. What else do we have? Right, we have the future area. Future is just random abstract shapes. And an accelerator coaster called Accelerator. And a portal cars. Also, someone guessed that there would be another 3 or more crashes today. Probably not, since I did renew all rides, which makes them a lot less prone to crashes. So, because I used that cheat, that's not gonna happen. Would it be possible to have the sprite of a flat Enterprise go up and down an observation tower? Most likely not. I'll have a quick look. Yes, if you're wondering how this works, it's basically there are pieces in between here that a card cannot be on, so it just teleports to the end of that track piece. I've made a video about it which goes into more detail. Oh right, then we have this nauseating thing. Just look at these cars going. Rotating all the way. Only on the chain lift though. Not during the entire ride. But that's gotta be fun. Luckily that doesn't actually add any nausea. And you know, it's a fairly standard multi-dimensional coaster. Nothing special. Then we have this thing, which is Treehouse Madness, which honestly is not one of my favorite rides in the park, but I'm not unhappy with the forest. This is not one of my favorites either, it's alright. It's gotten a lot of guests though. Almost 100,000. Ooh, we have this one, which is the Titanic rescue mission, because this is the Titanic. It's hit an iceberg. Does it do that by default? No, you can rotate. You can set a rotation for every tile, not just on the lift, on every tile. But I only did it on the lift because it's a lot of work. Then we have this bit with the couple of motion simulators and the mine train. I'm quite proud of this area. I really like it with the mine train coaster and the little barrel rider, which is the river rapids. That's the word. Then we have our good old rainbow Ferris wheels and of course the celebrity experience with a lot of photos simulating paparazzi. Oh, and it's going fairly fast. Still popular with the guests though. Well, it's got less than 1 excitement, but it's only got 8 intensity. Why are there skeletons in it? Because Mr. Bones. It's only got 6 lateral G's, you'll be fine. And going this way, we have one of my favorite areas of the park, which is the quiet area, or the Zen Garden, or whatever you want to call it. With a giant maze. How many guests have completed it? 24. Now I bet none of them have bought anything here, even though it's free. Because they're all pissed as hell when they get out of the maze. None have even used the toilet. And they usually don't want to buy anything when they're pissed. But yeah, I really like this maze. It took me about, I think, an hour, 1.5 hours to build it. And I think it's probably the best maze I've ever built. Let's revitalize them a bit. There we go. Now they're all walking a lot more quickly. Now I actually did a lot of guests a favor. Because there can be, let's see, up to 255 guests in the ride. And it got filled up pretty quickly, of course. And only 24 guests have completed it, which means that about 90% of those people that originally went into the maze were still in it by the time I removed all guests from the park. So I did them a favor. I tried building an Enterprise, then changed it to the observation tower and made it a tower. It does have an Enterprise as a card. But when I try to open it, it tells me to place the entrance, even though it's there already. Okay, that's weird. I'll try it as well, see Maybe if I can try something to fix it, or I don't know. Probably not though. Down here we have Area 51, the ride, with a nice little plane tower, which I copied from Empty Airfield, literally, and a hangar with some planes in it, which I also copied from Empty Airfield. But I quite like this inverted coaster as well. I think it's one of my best coasters in the park. I really think it's great. With this turnaround as well. And I think it's also one of the more realistic coasters I've built. Maybe not the steep bits. Inverted coasters don't really tend to do that a lot, I think. But other than that, I think it's quite realistic. So I'm happy with it. Then we have this stand-up coaster with inverting loops. And it's basically just jungle themed. Nothing special, but it's really dense. A lot of flowers. And I like it. Then here we have Formula Rossa, named after the fastest coaster in the world. It's not quite the fastest in the park, but it's one of the fastest in the park. Wait, is it not? How fast is the Giga Coaster? No, that's faster. So it's not the fastest in the park. And it's decorated with this weird mix of red and black and white, with some missing tiles and some random white scenery objects. It's one of the stranger areas of the park, but I still quite like it. And 9.30 excitement, which is really good. Then we have this Virginia Reel, which is nothing special, doesn't even have a name. Along with Bigfoot, which does have a name, and it's a Megapark. Do we have anything else here? Oh, right, yes. Extinction Escape, which I think is a great name. I don't know who came up with it. Someone did. I think it's a rather nice coaster with, you know, we got a little bit of a standoff here between the carnivores, which have tamed the Apatosauruses, against the herbivores. And these are T-Rexes riding Apatosaurs, or Sauruses, whatever the plural is. And, you know, it's a nice dinosaur and like ancient era themed. Yeah, they are herbivores, but they've been tamed and are ridden by the T-Rexes. These long necks. That's the story behind that. Okay, so you got it to work, but the cart's invisible. That is kind of a shame, though. And I think... Oh, wait, then we have this one. That's a lag spike. Still a lag spike. There we go, now it's done. Which has quite a few fountains. But other than that, it's a fairly normal, slightly Roman themed George. Thank you for the follow, Breezy. And then that's everything. Apart from, of course, the mountain. Which is rather big. It has a ski lift to the top. Oh, and it has a lovely little waterfall, which I think is one of my better scenery work I've done. Especially in this park. And then here it gets snowy, you know, you got a little bit of a thing with an observation tower at the top. And we have a bobsled coaster. Which has crashed once. But that was because it broke down, not because of bad design. Well, you can argue that if it breaks down and still crashes, it's due to bad design. But I disagree. It's just a risk you take. Don't tell Disney that or they'll cut corners. Needs a ride called The Hound. We could call one The Hound eventually. But by the time we built one, we might have already forgotten that. I would like a bobsled coaster that long in real life. How long is it? It's 1500 meters roughly. That's quite long. Longest coaster in the world is I think about 2.2 kilometers. And I think that, yeah, that's pretty much the whole park. You know, I've skipped over some flat rides, you know, we have a monorail. But that's not really exciting. But yeah, I can't see any areas that I've missed. big areas. Well, you know, we got the entrance area, which I quite like. It's sort of... The thing I was going for in this entrance area is like a build-up in size. You start with the smallest thing, like small trees and these really tiny flower beds. And then you have the middle thing, which is slightly taller and slightly bigger flower beds. And then you get like the small trees and the really big trees and the tall statues. And I like that like gradual increase in height. So that's the thing I went for. And I've been building my entrances like this for over a decade now. For like, you know, since I built my own custom scenarios, which is about 15 years ago or so. And I've always liked them, doing them like this. I think it's really pretty. Okay, so the merry-go-round's also invisible. Okay, let's try what you did. I think we need that one. Probably that one as well. Maybe that one too. Let's see. So what if we build this here? Then do that, and that, and that, and that. And then change it to merry-go-round. Oh, now it's just invisible. Build an observation tower, tape, change ride type enterprise, change card type, change ride type back. Okay, so let's go to an enterprise. Then change this to an enterprise. And then change ride type back. Right, but then you essentially just have an invisible ride. Well, not invisible ride, but like an observation tower without a card. Where's the observation tower? There. Yeah, it's it's invisible. So that doesn't really work. I don't think this can ever work. Unless you make it like a custom thing. We could maybe put like a lift cabin on this. Like that. That works. Now that's cursed. This is really cursed. And it's going down. What's it doing? It's going down in steps and it takes forever. Oh, wait, now it goes up again? When it was at the... It treats this like another station. Because when it was at the top, it stopped and got the stats. What? Will it ever go down? Wait, I want to see this in action. With guests. Let's see this. What does this do? Wait, did it get any... Oh wait, it didn't finish yet. Okay, I think guests will get on it now. Yes. Would guests get off at the top? Yeah, that's what I'm curious about as well. Ooh, you can see them in there. That's cool. What's going on? Something cool. Okay, that makes sense. It's going down now. And now it's going up again. And now it will stop at the top. Wait. Oh, they just got out at the bottom. They teleported to the bottom. That's rather weird. But, I'll keep this, though. I like this. Observation box. Let's make it That's very saturated. That's better. Was definitely hoping they would fall down from the top. Yeah, same. That will be much better. Do guests start flying? Alright, yeah, invisible's probably better. I'll just do an enterprise again. How did we do it again? Go to enterprise. Change this to enterprise. And then go back to observation tower. There we go. That ought to work. Let's see guests flying in action. Wait, they've just disappeared. Okay, so we don't see them. Oh, it's already going. It's at the top. That's a shame. In that case, I think I'll bring back the lift. Because it looks funny. There we go. That's nice. Not a ride I expected to build. But it's a ride, nonetheless. Have we made 100k in a month yet? Easily. 137k. We're getting rich. We're already back to 1 million. After we got down to 0. Ah, we just about can't see that anymore. Weekly profit is going up. Amazing. Park value, yeah, when I renew the ride is going up again. That's great. We still have the advertisements running. Whoa, we only... How did we... Oh, I did this cheat which made all guests not hungry and not thirsty at all. And we only made 23 bucks in that month from sales from food and drink. Let's watch this month end. And at the start of the next month, I'll make them all the most hungry and thirsty that they can be. Let's see how much we make. It's an interesting experiment. Alright, it's the 30th. And that's the 1st of October. Which is a great band. Alright, let it rip. Let's see how fast we surpassed the previous month. We've already surpassed it. That was just a few seconds. We already had 1.5k. 2,000. I mean, the rides are bringing in much more cash than all the drinks. So it's not a big problem. Now, I know a way we can bring in even more cash in a month. We'll do that next month. Nah, a lot of people have already bought these. But if I made them 20... and I do all new guests, you know, they can all buy an umbrella at the same time. You get that kind of action. Oh, we'll probably make over 10k in a month from just food and drink sales. That's pretty great. I don't think I've ever done that legitimately. Because that's a lot. Like 10k a month. Imagine having a park with that goal. That's almost undoable. Because right now I don't make much over 10k. I'll probably like 13, 14k at the end of the month. And I have over 8,000 guests. And I've made them all as hungry and thirsty as possible at the start of the month. So doing much over 10k is, without cheat, probably very impossible. I've made over 26k. Yeah, it's not... Well, if you include items, then it's easy. But I'm doing just food and drink. Because if you do items, you know, you can get 8k guests. You don't place any info kiosks, then you place info kiosks, make them 20 bucks, you wait until it rains, like 5,000 buy an umbrella, and you make 100,000. Wait, will that work? That's 100,000? I want to check that. That math checks out, right? 5,000 times 20 is 100,000. Let's remove all the guests and spawn in a lot of new ones. And then let's just make it rain. Ooh, we got a crash. It's the wild mouse. Wait, how is that possible? How? It's not like it's got a fast chain lift that, if it breaks down, can be the issue. Is it broken down though? No, it's not even broken down. How is this possible? If it makes it in testing, it should always make it. Oh well. Let's get over it. Okay, let's do another large tram. So the guests number is really massive, maxed out. How many different parks do I play at the same time? One. This one. How, guest weight. Well, the thing is, that only make them go... What the hell? What? What? It must be from removing the guests. We've had that before. A second crash on the same ride. I've had that before, that after removing the guests, we got this issue with crashes. This one especially has crashed before after removing all the guests. I don't think anyone's died. No, no one has died in these crashes. So they have not affected the park rating. Why did you remove guests? So that I could spawn new ones without umbrellas. So, that we make, when we can make a lot of money in 1 month from just umbrellas. And I'm shooting for 100,000. So let's start until the start of April. Let's wait until the start of April. Because right now no one is buying any. Imagine being sent to hell because you already bought an umbrella. Oh, thank you for the raid, Punko92. And 3 others. Welcome to the stream. We're just about to make a lot of money in 1 month from just selling umbrellas. Let's wait until the month is over. It is about now. Oh, we're losing guests. Well, let's spawn some more. Okay, it's the 1st of April. And it rains. Now, buy umbrellas, everyone. Let's see how much money we're making. So far, not that much yet. It's not going quick enough for my taste. Maybe because a lot of people haven't found their closest info kiosk yet. Let's see how much we can make. Obviously this isn't optimized. Since you know, they're all not all next to an info kiosk and stuff. Is there a cheat to remove everyone's umbrella? Not that I know. We're on about 5k now. We're never gonna make 100k. Not even close. We also had the problem of a lot of people leaving the park again. Well, I have done with a lot of cheats once that I've made more than 1 million from just umbrellas in a month. Once. Now I'm not sure, but I did have like 4 million an hour or something on the info kiosk. Which was basically, I placed an info kiosk really close to the entrance. Then you spawned in a load of guests, had them all buy the umbrella immediately, removed them all, spawned guests in again, removed them all, spawned guests in again, and so on until I had a profit an hour of more than 1 million. Which is the highest I've ever seen, but it did use cheats. But that's not possible on a coaster, since an info kiosk, being a stall, can handle an infinite number of guests per hour. Which a ride, of course, cannot do. Currently we're at just over 15k. If this continues, we'll probably make it to about 40k at the end of the month, which is still a lot. It's currently almost more than the ride tickets, the shop sales. And if we didn't account for the, you know, for the cost of the umbrellas themselves, just the sales, not the profits, then we would have been even closer. We would have almost surpassed it. I think it's gaining actually. Also, what the hell is that park rating? Is it from overcrowdedness because all the rides are empty? I think it might just be. Okay, let's stop this experiment. Let's actually get the park back to normal. What's wrong? It's too crowded here. Yes, that's the problem. Okay. That should be fixed soon, because guests are going on the rides again. Let's see. Let's do a fix all rides. Let's renew them. Let's spawn in some guests again. We still have some advertisements, you know, they come back quickly enough anyway. But now it should be a bit calmer. You also have the problem of guests not being distributed through the park yet, because they've all just been spawned in. But that should go a bit more quickly now that they're actually heading for rides, because it's not raining anymore. How many come with a single tram? 250. Rip my park rating though. That's really taken a nosedive. Damn. Okay, now that we're waiting for the park to recover, I suppose, let's look at a bit of statistics. Not this one. This one. So, profit. Whoa, Jungle Runner has made by far the most. Right, because we can charge $32.60 for it. And it can have a massive throughput. Damn. It's not even close. And Formula Rossa also has more than twice as much as the next one. Because, well, we do charge $33 for it. Which is even more. People have big wallets. Yeah, they spawn with around $500. Which does help a lot for this. Like if I click on this guy. Spawned with $490. Is it still the only wooden coaster? I think so. Yes. Oh wait, this is profit, not this profit per hour. Oh, that might not be accurate at all. Never mind. Total profit. Well, Jungle Runner is still on top. But a big part of this is also photo sales, since we've been doing that for about the first 28 years, instead of charging for them. But Mama Luigi Spaghetti is at second place. But Chariots of Fire is already at third place. Okay, that makes me think that photo sections is not such a big part, since this thing is really new. It, you know, we do charge a lot for it. And it has high throughput, so that makes sense. But still, some solid Zipfian distribution there, yes. Okay, let's see total customers. Ooh, we have 100,000er. Monorail 1. We zoom into the middle, which is not at all near a station. Let's go to this station. Monorail 1's gotten over 100,000 guests. That's amazing. Followed by Treehouse Madness, Mama Luigi Spaghetti, Jungle Rumble and Log Flume 1. Just this Log Flume has gotten over 50,000 guests. And what else do we got? Customers per hour, well that's not really accurate at the moment. Monorail 1 got a lot. Oh, that's cool, that makes guests distribute themselves. But, you know, guests have not really been distributed well yet, so that's not really a thing that we can look at right now. Running cost. Pukinator. Ooh, I imagine that all this rotation increases the running costs a lot. All this rotation on the lift. That must be it, because, well, maybe it's just expensive by itself. Let's actually do a little comparison, I'm curious. X also has some rotation, but not that much. Let's see how much X costs to operate. And let's see if it's significantly more or less than Pukinator. Well, probably not more. The brakes are the reason. It only has a few brakes. Like, that doesn't add a lot. 257. Okay, it's definitely the rotation that's the most. Let's now remove all this scenery and path. There we go. Then next we got Azure, which has a lot of boosters. Express, which also has boosters. Queue length, queue time, not really relevant right now. Guests' favorites. That also doesn't really work, since it only accounts for guests that are still in the park. And we've just removed about all of them. So yeah, that doesn't really work. Zoom, please. Not necessary, since we're about done with this. I assumed you meant like increasing the scaling factor. The running costs of the maze. Does it have running costs? It does, but apparently it's flat, with always being 49.60. But you're right, it should be really high with all the hatches to take care of, yes. But I don't think that's a thing. See, apart from grass, nothing seems to grow in this park or in Rollercoaster Tycoon. Grass grows, but trees don't. Hedges don't. Well, ducks sometimes appear. I can even make them quack. Which is neat. Hey, welcome Roland. Welcome back. We've just done a tour of the park and some experiments with making a lot of money. We made 22,000 from just, well, almost just umbrellas in a single month. Which was a lot less than I expected, but, you know. That's because reasons. I could optimize it more, but not in this park. I think, though, that this is about the end of the stream. I'm getting a bit tired. Ooh, I need to bin this bit, though. Stream is a little bit shorter than normal, but it's still, you know, gone for about 3 hours. Which is still decent. But yeah, yeah, no, I'm totally ending it because Roland is back. Definitely. Let me do a little overview of what we built today. Today, we built Coaster Combat. Which is, you know, a nice kind of health-themed suspended swinging coaster. We built Chariots of Fire, which is a nice hyper twister. You know, it's fairly big, high excitement rating, a lot of Colosseums with 4 launched freefalls inside one of the Colosseum towers. If you're wondering how this works, because this shouldn't fit together, cheats. Just cheats. They're just cheats close together. And we built this thing, which is called Eye Spasm. It's a lot of different colors on a very black and white background. And lastly, we had the Emo Golf, which is probably Roland's favorite ride. And Mine Rats. Ooh, and an Enterprise, I suppose. I've noticed that I think I keep building less and less flat rides as this park goes on. Which... Oh right, and the Weird Tower, yes. Which is a lift on an observation tower and it does weird things. It glitches. I'm not sure how that works either, but it's the thing. So, that's it for today. We've reached the 3 hours. Nice. I want to thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next live stream. But before I sign off, I will actually have a little look. See if I can find someone that I can raid. Ooh, J-Dub. That's always a nice one.
Politieman.
That was a little bit of sound from a stream that automatically played. Well, we'll go join J-Dub. He's always nice. So, see ya in the next live stream. Have a good evening. Have a good week. Good night.